I hope you have unlimited text messaging. By Miss Carr. Chapter 130. Conversation 71. Why am I sitting in a meeting right now? Tony. I'm kind of lamenting the fact that there's a 98% chance that the genius princess is reading these text messages. I was kind of hoping to find out if you were willing to try text message sex now that you actually had something to visualize. Tony. I give this morning's wake up a 12 out of 10. Thor bless the fact that you don't really need to breathe that much. The lack of gag reflex is also a plus. Me. Still not happening. Even if we knew for sure this is actually a private conversation. The real thing is always better. Tony, you're such a flatterer. Me, what are you doing right now? Tony, not you. Such a pity. I'm still mad I had a business breakfast this morning. I wanted to eat berries and whipped cream off your stomach. Me, we are definitely not having these types of conversations. Tony, you're no fun. Breakfast was disappointing merely because of the lack of your presence. I did have a good meeting with the head of SI India, followed by an even better meeting with the R&D team here. They're coming up with some good applications for the exoskeleton that I created for Brody that are actually practical and insurance companies may pay for. I love it when I get to play with toys while working. Me, that's good. Tony, unfortunately, I'm currently having lunch with the money people, and I kind of want to cry. This has to be the punishment for not doing the New York Times interview. I knew PR Jane would have vengeance somehow. Me, this explains why you are texting me right now. Tony, actually, that would be Yo-Yo. She would love it if you did not call her every 20 minutes to check on May so she can get in a farewell day with her boyfriend before she flies back Tuesday night to LA to investigate Mr. Flaming Head and maybe fuck with Pepper's ex-boyfriend. If you're going to have super speed, use it to punish dark souls, especially those that break my Pepperbutt's heart. Me, I haven't been calling every 20 minutes. Tony, do I need to have Friday pull up the call logs from my normal phone? At least you know better than to call from your phone. Progress. Me, that will be necessary. I'm just worried. I keep losing people I care about. And I'd really prefer to that not to happen again. Tony, I get that. However, Leo fits as a miracle worker and Melinda is fine. They're still running tests, but she's recovering nicely, despite the shot directly to the spinal cord. Me, I would just feel better if I could talk to her. Tony, Yo-Yo said that you would sneak in a phone to May before Mac takes her out on her goodbye dinner. So you might be able to talk to her at breakfast hour time tomorrow. I think. Tony, Friday, how many hours is Mumbai ahead of DC? Friday, 10.5 hours to the end of daylight savings time on November 6th. It is currently 2:42 a.m. in the District of Columbia. Tony, that means you are disrupting Yo-Yo's sleep or her fun boyfriend time. No wonder she was cranky. Me, tell her thank you once it's a reasonable time in DC. Also, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was that late. I would just feel better if I could talk to her. I'm a little restless. Tony, why are you restless? I thought you were supposed to go going sightseeing with Lily Bear's aunt and the counselor. Me, the aunt and counselor left on a mission Saturday, but they'll be back tomorrow in time for breakfast. At least that's what the counselor said in his text message to me. Tony, I am just finding out about this now. I would have figured out some way to sneak you into my meetings otherwise. That way we could have tested out the integrity of my desk here. I have an office, or me and Pepper share one. Between the two of us, we are here enough to warrant an office. Me, they sent a text, but we were preoccupied. I didn't even think of checking my phone until you left for your breakfast meeting. Tony, because you naked and on my bed is very occupying. Since we came home from the wedding Saturday until this morning, we only really took sleep, food, and hydration breaks. I am glad you're into edging, otherwise I would probably be napping right now. Tony, of course a nap would be more pleasant than this meeting. You're the only thing keeping me sane. I want to stab at least 3 people with a butter knife. Me, that is not good. Tony, but normal for these types of meetings. If you're restless, you could try writing that letter to your BFF. I also wouldn't be opposed to more NC-17 artwork of our exploits together. It's safer than a sex tape. Me, I tried 6 times. Tony, I can't wait to look at our wastebasket when I get home. I love your artwork. Me. I mean, writing to my James. Also, there is nothing in the wastebasket because apparently nano paper is self-erasing. Tony, which apparently is for the best. I get why this is hard. It can't be easy to tell your BFF that you're now dating the guy who tried to kill him a little under 5 months ago. I wonder if anybody makes an "I'm sorry I took my anger out on you for doing something that you had no control over" bouquet or apology gift basket. Me. If it exists, I'm sure Friday can find it. Tony. I will have Friday get on that. Me. Do you think they have an "I just want to tell you I'm bisexual" bouquet? Tony. You never told him before. Me. I never told him about Artie. I was always afraid that he would leave me. Tony. The guy was your best friend. I doubt that would be the case. Me. It was a different time. The only person I told was Peggy. I only told her because I felt like if we were really going to start something, she should know. Tony. And she figured it out on her own first. At least that's what Aunt Peggy told me. Me. She was always clever like that. Tony. So maybe you start your letter there and then bring up the fact that it's me you're dating. I'm going to have to apologize for falling for a villain trap and completely losing my shit in Siberia. Me. Only if you were sincere. Tony. 100% sincere. I should definitely start with those flowers. I'm better at apologizing with things than with words. I think it's something I unfortunately got from Howard. So you know I'm going to try not to do it if I can help it. Maybe I'll work on my apology letter during the accounts meeting in an hour. Me. I thought you were with the money people now? Tony. I am currently having lunch with the shareholders and investors money people, not the actually take care of the money people. That's why I want to bring out the butter knives. Surprising that the accountants are this boring. Also this fake smiling and conversing with people that make your skin crawl. This should totally be a Pepper thing. Me. Why isn't it a Pepper thing? Tony. Well, if I wasn't coming here mostly to hook up with you, she would have came with me. She comes a couple of times a year for meetings. She's better at these meetings than I am, which is totally why she is CEO regardless of where things stand between us and our personal relationship. Me. Understandable. Tony. But because this was essentially an excuse for a booty call with my new boyfriend, it would have been awkward. You know I adore her, but I'm not going to subject her to us being completely in love with each other. Your bite marks have already healed, but I have multiple hickeys. Tony. It would be especially cruel now that the press knows about our breakup. That would be just pouring salt on the wounds. We don't do that sort of thing to each other, especially when the press is involved. Me. Are they being awful to her? Tony. So awful. They're even breaking out the unflattering pictures of her in sweatpants. I'm going to invent something that makes it so their SD cartridges are destroyed when they try to take a picture of us from the balcony across the way. I feel like I'm going to need to do something big to distract them. Me. Please, don't do anything illegal! Tony. I can't promise that, mostly because talking to you in itself is a felony. Me. It's a good felony. Tony. Totally. This morning alone was worth it. I'm ridiculously sore, but in a good way. Tony. Happy's glaring at me. Me. I thought you guys are better? Tony. We are, but he hates sitting through these types of lunches. Also, the restaurant is vegan and Happy is not a fan of vegan cuisine. Me. At least he's mad at you for a reason that's not me. Tony. Also, he was the one who showed me the tabloid reports about the implosion of Pepper's latest relationship. He's equally pissed about that. Tony. I think the starlet leaked it to the press for attention because me and Pepper Pot were not together for over a year and nobody knew. Me. Not even me. Tony. And I'm regretting that because we probably could have hooked up earlier. I'm regretting all the lost time I could have spent with your mouth. Me. Which probably would have been bad if Siberia happened the same way. Tony. Do you think it would have happened the same way if we were already dating? I would like to think that I could have manipulated you into at least listening to my position with the promise of a blowjob. Me. You are very skilled at that, but I don't think it would have made me sign the accords. Also, please remember who's probably reading this. Tony. That would not be my aim. time. Okay, now I wouldn't have been going for that because I see the flaws in the Accords as is. And the watchdogs are still out there regardless of everything. But I feel like maybe if we laid all our cards on the table beforehand, things would have been better. At least nobody would have ended up in the raft. Me. I would have told you about your parents. At least that I knew Hydra was involved. I didn't know it was Bucky for sure until the video. Also, I would have punched the screen out before you saw it. Tony. People say hindsight is 20/20. If we could go back and do it all over again, we would make different choices. Of course, we probably would make all new mistakes. Me. Probably. Tony. We are still on for dinner tonight with the MIT crew. Also, despite knowing Vaidya technically longer than he's known me, Rhodey Bear says we can't tell him who you really are for national security reasons. So you have to pretend that you actually were married to our fellow classmate. I'm sending you a dossier to memorize. But hey, at least you'll have something to do now. Me. I am still mad at you for making me share in stepdad! Tony. I think the accounts meeting is going to end by 4 p.m., which is going to give me time to go home and do that thing with my tongue that you really like, and still be ready for dinner at 7 p.m. Me. I'm marginally less mad at you. Tony. Go study, Peanut Buttercup. Me. I don't like that name. Tony. What about Peanut Butter Butt? Your ass is your best feature. Me. No. Tony. Chocolate Cup. Me. No. Tony. Sugar Cube. Me. No. Tony. Snuggle Bear. Me. Maybe. Tony. You prefer animal names, don't you? Me. Yes, maybe. I'll see you when you get home. Tony. Good to know, kitten.